Devin Haney came out earlier today debunking all of the silly excuses made by Gary Russell desperate fans who's desperately trying to find another excuse to why Gary Russell haven't signed the timesheet yet. Devin Haney stated, and I quote, "Floyd Mayweather and Haymon did not block the Gary Russell fight. They greenlighted his scary ass." End of the quote. I'll tell you one thing, the excuses are getting more pathetic by the day. At this point, fanboys are willing to say whatever in order to save face for Gary Russell Jr. They even coming out with ridiculous excuses that Gary ain't even mentioning. Gary himself stated, Haymon gave me the green light to fight Devin Haney on the zone.
Yeah, bro. Haymon not gonna put no motherfucking money up for Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, Gary, you know, he's the champion. He's the one that come up with that. You know, it's not the champion. The challenger ain't the one to come up with the figures. You know what I'm saying? So if he really want to fight, tell him to send the contract. Send the 1.5. I'm going to beat your ass, shorty. Agent, I will come over to the zone and fight Devin. If that's what y'all want to do to fight at, I can fight. I already talked to Al. We can fight wherever the fuck y'all want the fight to be. Whatever network you want it to be on, we can make it shake.
Therefore, moving forward, please come out not with another excuse, however, with a better excuse. But Floyd Mayweather blocking the Gary Russell fight is a pathetic excuse. Sometimes I really question people's intelligence. Are you really smarter than the fifth grader? However, that's what tends to happen when you speak emotionally, not factually. See, a lot of people don't realize when you speak emotionally, it blocks your logic from seeing the truth. Therefore, quit making excuses. Make shit happen. I actually spoke to Devin Haney on the phone, where he informed me that he won't let Gary Russell turn down the fight till he surrendered and pretty much wave the white flag. Devin told me that he truly believed Gary Russell is a big cat because, according to Devin Haney, he gave him everything he requested. He met every single demand. However, in return, he receives another excuse daily. Devin truly believed that Gary Russell is desperately trying to find an excuse out of the fight. He's trying to find a way out of the fight. He also added, from the beginning of negotiations, Gary Russell haven't made one step forward in order to make the fight. Devin stated, from the start, we met every single demand of his. In return, he made an excuse every single time, trying to block the fight from taking place. Devin also spoke to Floyd Mayweather. Matter of fact, he talked to Floyd Mayweather daily. And Floyd Mayweather told Devin, which I quote, "Eat him alive." End of the quote. Floyd Mayweather wants Devin Haney to give Gary Russell the work. Furthermore, just to make one thing clear, as if it ain't as clear as day, Devin Haney is his own boss. Nobody tells Devin Haney what or what not to do. You know why that is? Because he's the youngest champion in the sport of boxing, the youngest promoter in the sport of boxing, and also the youngest, richest fighter in the sport of boxing. I mean, who's at 21 offering Gary Russell 1.5 million? Nobody. I believe Gary Russell's highest purse was against Lomachenko when Loma was around 26 years old, which Gary Russell made around $450,000 to $500,000. And that was a big fight, supposedly. So my point is, Devin Haney is only 21. And he's not just all of that I just named. He's also the A boogeyman of boxing, officially. Because he's an A-class boogeyman. He has supposedly pound for pound #1, Lomachenko, requesting a French fries belt in order to avoid him, equivalents of that belt you could purchase from Walmart yourself in order to keep your pants up. On the other hand, he have Gary Russell, the boogeyman, at 126, giving up his boogeyman status, backpedaling when Devin Haney is approaching him. So let's count the excuses made so far. The first one was the $2 million. Gary wanted $2 million at first. He was only willing to fight Crawford for that $1.5 million, even though that required Gary to move up 4 weight divisions. But according to Gary, that was personal. Later on, he came to his senses, realizing Devin Haney at 21 years old is tripling his highest purse. So he figured this is a great offer. So he accepted the $1.5 million. The next day, literally, Devin told Bill Haney, make the fight happen. And the offer was sent. So Gary Russell went on Instagram making an additional request, which was he want no stipulation in the contract. So Devin Haney met that demand in no time, in less than a day time span. So far, Gary Russell had everything he demanded on the timesheet, from the $1.5 million purse to no stipulation in the contract when it comes to rematch clauses and all of the above. However, Gary Russell also had another demand, which was the zone and Matchroom are not listed on the first couple lines on the timesheet. Even though that clearly don't matter, because as long you have the money guaranteed with no stipulation, so what the zone is not printed on the timesheet? As long Gary Russell is not going to fight for free, that should be his only concern. And hypothetically, truth be told, it's even better for Gary Russell if the fight is hosted on a mutual network instead of DAZN, since DAZN is Devin Haney's home network. But according to Gary Russell, he stated that DAZN and Matchroom, they not on board, so they not interested in the fight. However, that's completely false, because according to DAZN and Matchroom, they gave the green light for the Gary Russell fight. There's multiple reports of DAZN and Matchroom stating that they want the Gary Russell fight, in fact, since the fight generated a lot of buzz. Therefore, that was completely false by Gary Russell. Everybody is on board except of Gary Russell. Man, everybody is on board, including Al Haymon and Floyd Mayweather, which we're going to get to that. This right here is the reason why Devin Haney kept insisting to me. Gary Russell is desperately looking for a way out. So the fans started making new excuses, such as DAZN, they broke. They can't pay for the fight. However, that excuse also got debunked by Bill Haney himself yesterday on Split Decision. Bill Haney confirmed that DAZN have money. And you all witnessed him pimp slap all of these decafs with the facts by telling the absolute truth, since they were coming with their emotional opinion. But opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Some opinions are bigger than most, just like some a-holes are bigger than most. Again, facts trump opinion any given day of the week. So like I stated before, Bill Haney confirmed DAZN have money. The only reason they not interested in Canelo versus Ivini, because that's a clear cherry pick, and they don't want to lose $40 million for a cherry pick. So they told Canelo, we want a premier fight, and we're gonna gladly pay you $35 million guaranteed. However, cherry picking Ivini is only gonna hurt DAZN at this point. On the other hand, Devin Haney versus Gary Russell is what's actually gonna save DAZN, compared to Canelo versus Ivini, which was gonna cost DAZN $40 million for a fight that's not gonna do numbers, because nobody willing to watch that pathetic fight. Ivini have no chance at all. On the other hand, Gary Russell versus Devin Haney is only going to cost DAZN $3 million, which is right on the budget. Also, it's going to be the biggest fight on DAZN this whole year. So DAZN actually is very interested in the fight, and they told Bill, we like this fight. Unlike a year ago, before the pandemic, when Gary had a huge number, we didn't think too much of it. But now, we want the fight, which Bill Haney confirmed that on split decision. So for the people that likes to take Bill Haney words out of context, that was before the pandemic, when DAZN was uninterested in the fight. However, now they are interested and they want the fight. However, today, the hottest excuse of the year came out fresh out of the oven. The latest excuse, exclusively Floyd Mayweather blocking Gary Russell from fighting Devin Haney. First of all, I don't even know where to begin, but let's start off with this. According to Gary himself, this is not true because Haymon gave him the green light and his blessings to fight Devin Haney on DAZN. So that's clearly not true. Also, Devin Haney is his own boss. Devin Haney is his own promoter. Therefore, Floyd Mayweather don't tell him what to do, because if he did, wouldn't you think Devin Haney will be fighting under Floyd Mayweather promotion? He wouldn't have his own promotional company. Devin Haney will be fighting on Showtime as we speak, just like Gervonta. And to make matter worse, since Floyd Mayweather is a partner with PBC, Devin Haney is actually fighting for the competition with DAZN. And just to put the icing on the cake when it comes to these desperate claims by Gary Russell desperate fans, Floyd Mayweather actually told Devin Haney, beat his ass. Floyd Mayweather told Devin Haney, and I quote, eat him alive. Therefore, at this point, there's only one person that's holding the fight back. There's only one person that's not on board. The one and only Gary Russell Jr. We only one signature away from the fight being done. And Bill Haney told everybody on split decision that Devin Haney even sent Gary Russell a DH pin so he could sign the timesheet, since Devin Haney have no time to waste. And you best believe Haymon is not the one stopping Gary Russell from signing that contract, which Gary confirmed that on tape. He said Haymon gave him the blessing and the green light to fight Devin Haney on DAZN. And last but not least, I talked to Bill Haney. He informed me that the last time he talked and seen Gary Russell is when he pulled up on Gary Russell Live, putting Gary in the corner, asking him the $1 million question. Didn't we give you everything on that timesheet you requested? Which Gary responded with, not really. And then he dipped out of the live. I kid you not, he disappeared on some magic. We didn't know where Gary went. I personally thought he went to get the timesheet so he could sign it on live with that DH pin. However, that's not the case, and Bill haven't heard from him since. So for the fans, quit making silly / ridiculous excuses that Gary Russell is not even making, because you guys making him look bad, which by doing so, you guys adding pressure on Gary Russell instead of releasing the pressure. And Bill told me on split decision that they won't allow Gary Russell to turn down the fight. They refuse to allow Gary Russell to avoid the fight. And if he does, then they're going to take the DMV with them. He also added that Gary must come out and give Devin Haney his props, claiming that, hey, I don't want no part of Devin Haney. I'm going to stay in my division and leave that bad man alone. So with that being stated, just to mention some honorable excuses, such as, well, you guys have to remember Gary Russell can't make the date. However, if my memory served me correctly, wasn't Gary Russell calling out Devin Haney 2 months ago, claiming he's already in shape, on weight, ready to fight right now? However, in 8 weeks, which is a full training camp for a fight, he can't get ready when Gary was already supposedly in shape 2 months ago? And just to kill the whole motion, Bill Haney already told Gary Russell, pick the date, as long as in that time window. And if not, they're going to fight Gamboa, then fight Gary Russell, if Gary wants it early on next year. So for the people that say, again, the zone don't have no money, so you telling me they have money for Gamboa, but they don't have money for Gary Russell? So you guys are contradicting yourselves. So like I said before, quit making excuses, make shit happen. Because these decafs have the audacity to come at me in the comment section like the keyboard warriors they are, on some, Akhi, you not informed, watch so-and-so channel, watch so-and-so interview. When I'm talking directly to the source, when I'm speaking straight facts. So you decafs, you guys just brainwashed. I'm informed. However, you guys just brainwashed. And truth be told, with the excuses you decafs come up with, I deadass be losing brain cells listening to you decafs. So I'm hoping I'm at least donating some of them brain cells to you guys. So with that being stated, when the truth is spoken, the other side is nothing but a lie. So I could care less what the other side think. I could care less what the other side have to say. Because when the truth is spoken, the other side is nothing but a lie. And the truth is always universal. So with that being stated, subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't and listen to these decafs. The dumb, casual ass fans that don't know shit about boxing. Word to Roger Mayweather, may he rest in peace, inshallah. And shout out to my broski, my Akhi Dante, for being the entrepreneur of new media that I'm a part of. The real media of boxing that speak objectively while telling the whole absolute truth. And if you are casual and you want to be a hardcore boxing fan, all you have to do is click on the notification bell to get notified every time I post or go live on Split Decision. It's a boxing debate / talk show, mixed, master engineered, produced by yours truly, Akhi, the past, present, and future undisputed. Pound for pound #1 when it comes to debating. I got these decafs shook. They scared to look every time Akhi's on TV because it's always bad news for these decafs, since the truth is their kryptonite. 3 things that can never ever be hitting: the sun, the moon, and the truth that I spit on the mic daily. So with that being stated, quit treating Akhi like the youngin' Devin Haney of debating. I got all these decafs afraid to call in. They have no cojones. All you keyboard warriors that always talk crap in the comment section, you guys are always a no-show when it's time to pull up. So grow some cojones and call in. With that being stated, Allah only made a couple things perfect. Floyd Mayweather undefeated record, and Akhi on Split Decision and on Boxing Hood. So join me every Sunday and also every Wednesday. And last, however, the most important, I truly appreciate every single one of my Akhis. The love been overwhelming. Akhi stand for my brother. This is the brotherhood of boxing, the Boxing Hood. Therefore, join me if you want to be an Akhi of mine, a broski of mine. Akhi stand for my brother. So to be one, all you have to do is subscribe and click on the notification bell. So with that being stated, to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace, and we out here.